old walled town and capital of the Hausa state of Zazzau, Amina was a great warrior and the first woman to rule the ancient kingdom of Zazzau. Her 34 years as queen witnessed an unprecedented expansion of Zazzau by conquests. Queen Amina of Zaria belongs to the class of Amazons by the might of her army and her strings of conquests. She opened Zaria to trans-border trade and was said to have initiated kola nut cultivation in the ancient kingdom. The Hausa Muslim figure was born in 1533 and died in 1610 at the age of 77 years. Folklores remember Aminatu, the queen of Zazzau, as a brave, smart and talented leader.
Western Spring Television, ours it is.
It's a beautiful morning to you and welcome to the show Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. My name is Joseph ATEWE saying good morning and welcome.
And I am NENGI ERNEST Ademola. Thanks for joining us this morning on the midweek edition of Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. Like I will usually say, there's a whole lot of story in stock for you. And definitely for the first half of the show, we'll take you all throughout the local scene. We'll bring you up to speed with what is going on currently in that scene. That's the local scene, talking about Nigeria. And aside from that, we'll take you into the world of tennis, the world of basketball, as well as other things making the rounds in the world of sports. Welcome on board once again.
All right, we start from the local scene and talking female football here. We know that the Nigerian Women Football League has announced that the second tier of the league, the NWFL Championship, will be held in Shagamu, Ikenne, simultaneously in Ogun State from the 7th of July to the 14th, 2023. The upcoming championship comes in almost a month after the premiership held in Asaba as the NWFL seek to conclude the 2023 season calendar of the three tiers of the Women's League in Nigeria.
Now, just to add to that, we do know that the NWFL Chief Operating Officer noted for this year's championship, 12 registered clubs will play in Ogun State. Adding that at the end of the NWFL Championship on the 14th of July in Ogun State, 2 teams with the highest points will be promoted to the NWFL Premiership. Now, 2 stadia picked as match venues for this year's tournament are Remo Star Stadium in Ikenne and FC Ebiede Stadium in Shagamu, both in Ogun State. Now, the teams are Prince Kazim Eletu FC, Honey Badgers FC, Kwara Ladies FC, Ekiti Queens FC, Imo Striker Queens FC, Dream Stars Ladies, Sunshine Queens FC, Lakeside Football Academy, Delta Babes FC, Pelican Stars, Danas FC, and also Moje Queens. And let's not forget that the date set for the 2022-2023 NWFL Championship is from the 7th of July to the 14th of July 2023. And we wish the teams all the best and definitely would see most of this team gain promotion into the Nigerian Women Football League come next season.
And still talking club football here. We know that the Abia State government, under the newly elected governor Alex Oti, has concluded plans to host the victorious Ayimba team. The People's Elephant finished the regular abridged format league season in 3rd position and qualified for the Super 6 playoffs. Now they edged the Rivers United in the final game of the Super Six played at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. The said government confirmed on Tuesday that they will host the Aba Millionaires on the 29th of July at the Governor's Lodge in Umuahia. Apart from winning the league, Eyimba has also qualified to represent Nigeria in next season's CAF Champions League. And of course, kudos to Eyimba United. I remember last season in the NPFL League, it was more like they were going to, fall astray and all of that, because I think they finished in one of their worst position aside from 2016, where they finished 10th position. Last season they finished 7th position rather. And this just the concluded season, they were able to fight so hard. They were able to be consistent enough to win the 9th NPFL Championship. Kudos to them. And still on the NPFL Championship, Unicel Limited, sponsors of the Unicel boot for the highest goal scorer in the Nigerian Professional Football League, has announced Eyimba's Chukwuemeka Obioma as winner of the award. Now, Obioma scored 16 goals to emerge as highest goal scorer in the just concluded 2022-2023 NPFL season, and will receive the sum of 3.2 million naira as well as the imposing Unicel boot. Now, Unicel, West Africa's largest independent chemical and oil and gas engineering solutions company, conceived the Unicel boot. Obioma becomes the 8th player to win the Unicel boot as a confirmation of his goal-scoring prowess. And Unicel placed a premium value of 200,000 naira for each goal scored by the top scorer. And I think that's the passion that comes out of it. And Obioma definitely is worthy of note this time around. In the season, scoring about 16 goals, contributed about 14 goals to Eyimba FC throughout the 2022-2023 season. So congratulations to him. It is a well-deserved award. And of course, kudos to the sponsors of that award, because we know before that came on, it was difficult to get players, banging in up to 16, 17 goals. The players that did it since they started the award, will inform Udo. Udo did it with Eyimba, yes, the same club. And he scored 21 goals. Ahmed Musa had done the season before with Kano Pillars, scoring 22 goals. As a matter of fact, he held the record for a very long time. We saw guys come in, break that record, because they know to every goal we score, we get 200,000 naira. And this young man has just raked in 3.2 million naira. In this present economy, with the state of our league, that's a lot of money for him. And as I said, it's kudos to the organizers of that. But then in time past, sport stakeholders had called on Unicel, to improve the money. I mean, it's an oil company. We can there's more. Absolutely, but then we must give them kudos for what they're doing. Of course, we must give them kudos at this point. Now, let's switch sides and talk about what is going on concerning the World Cup, which is slated for July 20th. And of course, we've been bringing in you news about the Super Falcons group, who have been placed in Group B in terms of facing challenges to Canada and the rest of them. But however, we're hearing a story concerning Canada so far in the World Cup, and let's bring you up to speed with what is going on currently in that aspect. Now, Super Falcons, Group B opponents at the 2023 Women's World Cup, Canada, are locked in a dispute with their Football Federation over financial issues. Now, the Falcons will kick off their campaign in Australia July 21st against Canada at the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. And Canada had threatened to strike ahead of the She Believes Cup earlier this year, with the Olympic champions at an impasse with Canada Soccer, which forced an overhaul behind the scenes and a lengthy meditation. The dispute was not solely about money, but the financial side of the role continues to be the sticking point months later, as Christian Sinclair, Canada's 40-year-old captain and all-time leading goal scorer, told the Canadian press earlier this week that we're not at a point where we're not getting on a plane, but time's coming where we want it done. So as players, we're not having to deal with it while we're trying to prepare. And that plane in question departs for the World Cup on June 28th, and forcing a greater sense of urgency, though. There is a question of what happens should a deal or a new collective bargaining agreement still not be in place. So as team stands, the team will likely need to accept a shorter-term deal that will cover them for the duration of the World Cup, as well as the remainder of the 2023. And you want to talk about the Falcons too. We do know that the Falcons themselves also have monetary issues, as the report says several players are still unpaid after last year's WAFCON in Morocco. So when you talk about this monetary issues, not just down here in Nigeria, but I think some other women clubs of the world are currently facing it. But we do hope that this will be resolved and they would not boycott the Women's World Cup. But thank God you said women. Just goes to show that I cannot satisfy a woman. I'm just joking. But I mean, we hope they resolve this. And as you said, this shouldn't be coming from Canada. But from the statement, it says that it is not about money here.
It's not just about money.
Just about money, rather. And there are other issues concerning them.
It, yeah.
You know, not until late that, what's the name right now? Different bodies organizing football competitions started taking female competition seriously, started increasing their pay.
That's the fight. It's not like you cannot satisfy a woman, but that's the fight when it comes to football.
They want equal pay, but it's not possible.
I mean, USA has fought for it, and I think by now they are getting it already.
Yeah,
even some teams in the local scene talking about Nigeria, they have equal pay as much as the men team.
But I think that it can work in the sense that the FIFA World Cup, for example, the female World Cup is coming on, and the total revenue FIFA might get from that, even after image right, broadcasting right, and every other thing, might not be, say, $100 million. But for the male World Cup, they can get over $6 billion.
That's why it's the amount of people, it keeps increasing. It keeps getting better by the day. This is just the 9th edition of the Women's World Cup. And I believe that at the long run, we might be able to clinch what we actually desire when it comes to football, when it comes to women's football. It will happen. Okay. You just watch and see.
All right, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has settled on Côte d'Ivoire as the host country for the 45th CAF General Assembly. The assembly, which was originally scheduled for Benin, will now take place in Abidjan due to the unavailability of a venue in Cotonou following a recent visit by CAF General Secretary Veron Mosengo Omba. The process of identifying a new venue took into account the statement by President Dr. Patrice Motsepe that, and I quote, the hosting of CAF competitions and events should be rotated and held in all 6 CAF zones without compromising the quality and the world-class infrastructure and facilities in which CAF competitions and events should take place. End of quote.
And just to add to that, some more details on that one, that after assessing the hotel's infrastructure and facilities of some of the proposed venues, the CAF Secretariat settled on Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, to host the 45th CAF Ordinary General Assembly. And the General Assembly will therefore take place on Thursday, July 13, 2023 at Sofitel Hotel Abidjan. And the agenda and resolutions that are supposed to be taken at the 45th CAF Ordinary General Assembly will not be affected by the change of venue, which was necessitated by circumstances beyond the control of CAF. Once again, Benin Republic haven't faltered right there based on infrastructure and facilities, which shows that they need to improve and get better in terms of that. Now, let's switch sides into the world of athletics and talk about Tobiloba Amusan. Yesterday, we brought you news concerning the Golden Tour 2023 going on right there in Ostrava. And Tobiloba Amusan did not let in complacency set in concerning that one, because the champions in Nigeria hurdle star Tobiloba Amusan's hope of winning the gold medal at the Ostrava Golden Spike was dashed on Tuesday in Ostrava. Now, all eyes were on the Nigerian track sensation who broke all the records at the World Championship event in the year 2022. And the day before the event, Amusan was exuding confidence about winning gold in the event, but it was never to be. Now, in a keenly contested race, Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Queen claims the gold medal with 12.42 seconds. And Tia Jones finished second, while Amusan stayed in third position. Nigeria's Tobi Amusan improved on a season's best, crossing the line in a time of 12.47 seconds. Now, it doesn't matter if she came third in position this time around, but definitely she had another season's best, which I just stated, crossing the line in a time of 12.47 seconds. All the best to her, even in further championship that is to come.
I mean, kudos to Tobiloba Amusan.
Exactly.
You might think it easy.
Yeah.
Running against with
the likes of Camacho.
Camacho is a good runner. Very good. Very, very good, honestly. And there's this new B from Jamaica. I can't remember her name here. You want to look at Allison, also from Brazil. There is Fraser Price.
A lot of them.
Running alongside these guys is a big deal.
Absolutely.
Coming third is a record.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, give it to Toby because we must celebrate. But then for, what's her name now? Camacho Queen, another record. See what she did at the Indoors Championship. That was last year in Australia. Massive. Making, I think, 6 or 7 gold medals in that one. Shows the quality of Camacho.
Certainly.
And what she's capable of. 12.42 seconds. That's also a good time.
And you talk about Tobiloba Musa, 12.47 seconds. I think that's also a season best, just like we've rightly stated. And we do hope that Commonwealth Championship, she will be able to exude the same confidence in which, because I think it was a very stiff challenge for her, just like you rightly stated, Joseph. And let's see what happens, even as the world of athletics definitely gets in more competitions at the level.
Still talking athletics, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has rescheduled the national trials for the World Athletics Championship, previously scheduled to hold between the 6th to the 9th of July. Now, the 2023 World Athletics Championship, the 19th edition of the World Athletics Championship, is scheduled to be held from the 19th to the 27th of August 2023 at the Athletics Center in Budapest, Hungary. The AFNA later dated the 27th June 2023 and signed by the General Secretary, Rita Musindi, revealed that the event has been fixed to hold between the 5th and 7th of July at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium.
And currently, we do not understand the reason why there is a postponement, but we're following that closely and we'll bring you up to date concerning that story. Now, still in the world of unlimited sports, as it concerns Nigeria, let's also talk about rugby. Now, I usually say this, that gradually Nigeria is diversifying into other sports, which is a very nice one coming from them. But as concerned rugby in Nigeria, definitely Nigeria was ably represented by, of course, most of these very fantastic players who play rugby. Now, the Nigerian men rugby team, that's the Black Stallions, came second on the Mauritius 7 Cup rankings and is one of the 12 teams to feature at the Harare Sports Club in Zimbabwe this September for the African Men's Sevens Cup. Now, the African Men's Sevens Cup in Harare, Zimbabwe will serve as a qualifying tournament for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games and comes up from the 16th to the 17th of September 2023. Now, the Black Stallions of Nigeria won 5 of their 6 fixtures at the pre-qualifiers in Mauritius, losing only to Algeria, who eventually tops the rankings, with Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and the host country Mauritius making up the top 5. Now, being displayed on your screen is the Mauritius 7th ranking. Accordingly, the very first one, we have Algeria and Nigeria coming second. A very nice display so far. Cote d'Ivoire followed by Ghana, Mauritius, Senegal, Egypt, Botswana, Cameroon, Burundi, Congo, and of course Lesotho occupying the 12th. Now, all 12 teams will automatically feature at the Harare Sports Club in Zimbabwe come September. So definitely we're taking this one on our calendar and we're looking forward to it.
That's it from the local scene. Now we need to go on a break here and give you the highlights from Jessica Pegula and Coco Gauff when we talk tennis. When we also come back, does it make sense that Arsenal might be buying Declan Rice for £105 million, a waste of money? That's a $1 billion question. We'll be back.